Most of you aren't subscribed. Make sure to subscribe, as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, with the village all destroyed, the gang along with Rinen, Toa and some other captives by Mills, all decide to head to the village, Sieg. Arriving at the closest adventurers guild, one of the men that tagged along, tells the receptionist about how their previous village was decimated by mysterious monsters. Whilst this happens, Makoto thinks about how Tomo had used some of her mind manipulation magic on everyone except Rinen, and Toa's memory in the previous village had been altered to believe monsters destroyed their village. With the receptionist wondering if the monsters still exist, she's introduced to Mio and Tomo, who she doesn't believe is actually over level 1000. Makoto states that they've already registered with the previous guild, but the receptionist says their data must have been lost when the village was decimated, and they'll have to re-register. Hearing this, Makoto speaks with Tomo privately, who is worried Makoto is still angry about her fighting with Mio. Instead, Makoto tells her about knight errantry, a samurai who trained and honed their skills until a deadly degree. Hearing this, Tomo wonders if she was like that samurai, she'll not only surpass Mio, but also gain the praise of Makoto. Making up her mind, Tomo asks that she begin training on her own, which Makoto allows, having expected her to take the bait. As Tomo runs off to train, Mio thinks about how she will be able to spend time with Makoto, but we zoom out to see that the others are along for the ride. As the gang continue their travels, to Sieg, by carriage through a forest, Rinen notices Mio mad at first, but is able to cheer Mio up, by complimenting her and Makoto's relationship. Suddenly, Makoto erects his Kai barrier, spotting several bugs up ahead, asking Mio to deal with them. Mio immediately accepts, facing the creatures. With a single swing of her fan, she kills all the bugs, impressing everyone. Asking that they continue down the forest, Toa interrupts, asking to be able to collect the bug's corpse, as they are quite rare material. Knowing that this will only be a waste of time, Makoto is suddenly distracted by Toa's body, giving in to her request, but this makes Rinen and Mio glare at Makoto. Collecting the bug's eyes, the gang continue on their path, setting up camp and resting when it's dark, riding when the sun's out, and battling through and collecting the material from monsters in the forest. With so much raw material collected, Makoto is reminded that he had created a trading company for goods, calling it the Kuzunoa Trading Company. Suddenly the gang encounters creatures with ruby eyes, quite a rare species. Asking that Mio deal with them, Mio gets annoyed that the others are asking her to kill the creatures, but not damage their eyes, head or wings. Knowing that he should deal with this himself, he learns that the abdomen is the most vulnerable spot, but the girls are scared he's too weak, as he's technically level 1 in their minds. Readying his bow, Makoto focuses, easily shooting down each and every creature, impressing the girls, with the elven girl in particular, believing that Makoto's bow is high-tech. Makoto is unable to explain that his bow and arrows are ordinary, as the others are too busy harvesting the valuable materials from the creatures. Finally arriving at Sieg, Makoto is re-registered, sad to see that his level is still 1, even after slaying those creatures in the forest. With Makoto asking that Mio wait for Tomo to have them both re-register at the same time, Makoto visits the quest board, spotting only rank A and B quests, looking at a special quest by the Rembrandt Trading Company in particular. Since it's special, Makoto can accept it regardless of rank, realizing that this quest is asking for ruby eyes. Suddenly Toa interrupts Makoto, telling him about her rank up during their adventure, pleasing Makoto, as he asks that they split the goods they acquired. Asking for one of each of the goods, and most of the ruby eyes, Makoto apologizes for hogging the valuables, but the others are simply happy Mio and Makoto helped them get here. Seeing everyone's sad faces, Makoto states that they should at least throw a party to celebrate their parting ways, which pleases everyone. With Toa offering to set things up for the party, Makoto exchanges contacts with Toa using their guild cards, which Makoto notes how high-tech this is, as all adventurers no matter the rank have access to a town map and monster encyclopedia, but it comes at the cost of a yearly fee to the guild. That night, Mio and Makoto meet up with the others for their party, at a tavern. Seeing that they offer meat, Makoto can't help but dig into a huge chunk of meat. Watching him, Louisa the Blessed Gunner, an elven girl that's rank A- and level 108, talks about how she can barely sense Makoto's presence or desire, amazed that she has never seen anyone use a bow like Makoto. Next, Mio glares at Hazel, who is an alchemy master who's rank B+ and level 114. Learning that Makoto plans to use the ruby eyes he acquired from their trip for a special quest he found earlier. Next is Renina, who's a dwarven priest knight, rank B+ and level 122. Quite drunk, Renina challenges Makoto to an arm wrestling contest, but is surprised when she's defeated by Makoto. Finally, Toa is revealed to be a dark thief, with rank A and a level of 125. As the party comes to an end, Toa asks more about Makoto's special quest, but upon hearing it's from the Rembrandt Trading Company, she warns Makoto about some rumors she's heard regarding them. As the two make their way back to the room they will be sharing, Makoto asks that Mio go on ahead, as he plans to grab the goods for the special quest, being warned by Toa that people that accept Rembrandt Trading Company's quest usually have bad things happen to them. Since Tomo is nowhere to be found, Mio gets antsy wondering if he and Makoto will get to share a bed, but when Makoto arrives, he simply sleeps in his own bed, making Mio regret not destroying one of their two beds. The next day, Mio and Makoto head back to the demi-plane, which Makoto is proud to announce that he's able to create the mist needed to enter and leave whenever he wants. Greeted by Tomo's fragment and Emma scolds Makoto for not acting more kingly, as he may be an adventurer in the real world, but in the demi-plane he is the ruler. Filling in the two on what has transpired since they were gone, Makoto learns that the Alks are settling in the mountains with the help of the orcs and mist lizards. The dwarves are helping with construction and repairs, along with designing new equipment, and as for farmland, the mist lizards are in charge of clearing farmland and guarding the village. As a final surprise, Makoto spots a huge area of land, being built specifically for him, designed based on his memories, which Makoto remembers Tomo had recorded a bunch of his memories, and this is what it's being used for. Speaking of Tomo, Makoto is sad to hear that neither Emma nor Tomo's fragments have been able to get in touch with Tomo. Suddenly Eld appears, showing off his new boots invention, allowing him to walk and keep up with the younger dwarves, but more importantly asks to show Makoto something. Unveiling his new leather, scaled and full-plater armors, Eld asks that Makoto equip one of them, but are all disheartened when Makoto refuses to wear any of them, as they are too heavy-duty and flashy. Instead, Makoto notices a thinner protective gear on the racks, which Eld states that Rugi was the one that crafted this coat. Makoto recognizes that name as the same person that crafted his Dropnir rings. Rugi reveals that the gear absorbs mana, just like his Dropnir rings do. When the gear is blue, it prioritizes physical and magical defense. But Makoto has the option to convert the gear to red, favoring mobility over defense. Trying out the gear, Makoto is sad to see the gear is already exhausted with his mana, but Rugi states that he'll make the gear more compatible with Makoto's vast mana pool. Meeting with Mio, Makoto is introduced to some of Mio's Alk followers, who are practicing appearing as humans. Seeing them gather such materials from the demi-plane, Makoto notes that the goods grown in the demi-plane are more powerful than normal. With nothing else left, Makoto heads to the Rembrandt Trading Company to complete his quest, but upon arriving, realizes that the quest isn't as easy as it seems. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like and comment.